So, in this presentation, hello grade 7 students. In this video, we're going to talk about our new lesson about the immune cells. In this video, we're going to talk about the differentiation between the red blood cells and the white blood cells. We're going to identify the cells that are involved in immunity, and we're going to determine the different immune organs, the primary immune organs and the secondary ones. First, let's talk about blood. Already we talked about blood. We said that blood flows everywhere with the human body. We cannot live without blood for sure. So the heart pumps the blood to all our body cells, supplying them with oxygen and food. Also, blood carries proteins and cell fragments. These cell fragments, they are called platelets. They let the blood clot where there has been an injury. This table is differentiation between the red blood cells that are called erythrocytes, and the white blood cells that are called leukocytes. Red blood cells. Red blood cells, they are small in size and they are many in number. They are high in number. Why? The white blood cells, the opposite. They are large in size while they are few in number. Red blood cells, they are red in color, whereas the white blood cells, they are not red in color, but they are not white. They are not red in color. Red blood cells, they are anucleated. What the meaning of anucleated? Meaning that they don't have a nucleus, whereas the white blood cells, they have a nucleus. They are nucleated cells. What is the role of the red blood cells? The role of the red blood cells is to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide, whereas the role of the white blood cells is to defend the body. They have a role in immunity. This figure is showing, this is called the blood smear, showing red blood cells and white blood cells. These are the red blood cells. They look red in color. There are about 5 to 6 million cells in every milliliter. So every milliliter contains 5 to 6 million cells of the red blood cells, while the white blood cells, they are about 5,000 cells per milliliter. So every 1 milliliter, we have about 5,000 cells. So times 1,000, the difference. So the red blood cells, they are higher in number. Now, let's move to the cells involved in immunity. This is the cell, look like the horseshoe shape. This is the nucleus of this cell. The nucleus looks like a horseshoe shape, like the horseshoe. Like the horseshoe is called the monocyte. So whenever we have the cell that has a nucleus like the horseshoe, so immediately it's called monocyte. What are the different characteristics of the monocyte? This figure is showing the monocyte. It has horseshoe-shaped nucleus. This is the cytoplasm, and this is the cytoplasmic membrane. The monocytes, they are large in size. They have horseshoe-shaped nucleus. They can flow in the blood vessels. They can move in the blood vessels. They can cross the capillary walls, and they mature into macrophage. What's the meaning of macrophage? Macrophage, it can eat other cells. It can perform a process which is called phagocytosis. So the monocytes, when they become mature, they become macrophage. What is the function of the macrophage? It eats other cells. Phago, eat. Cytosis, cyto, it's a cell. So phagocytosis, eating other cell. This is the monocyte. Granulocytes. Granulocytes, they have special nucleus. The nucleus in the granulocytes is multi-lobe. It's composed of many lobes. If you see here, this is lobe 2, 3, 4 of many parts. So it's called multi-lobed nucleus. So they are large in size also. They have a multi-lobed nucleus. They have granules in their cytoplasm. They flow in the blood vessels. They can cross the capillary walls, and they have a role in phagocytosis. They kill the non-self cells. Okay? So they have the same properties as the monocyte, but the nucleus in the monocyte, it was horseshoe shaped, while in the granulocyte, it's multi-lobed nucleus. They have granules in the cytoplasm. That's why the name granulocytes. They have granules. These are the granules in the cytoplasm here. Okay, both of them, they have role in phagocytosis. Now, let's move to the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, we have two types of lymphocytes. We have something called B lymphocyte and something called T lymphocytes. Let's start with the B lymphocyte. B lymphocytes, they are large in size. They have large round nucleus. If you have a look here, they have a large round nucleus and the cytoplasm is very small. So large round nucleus and the small cytoplasm. What do they have? What is the function of the B lymphocytes? They secrete antibodies. These are the antibodies. They look like a Y-shaped structure. They look like a Y. So they are called Y-shaped proteins. So antibodies, they are secreted by B lymphocytes. Why? To kill the non-self. This is the labeling of the figure. Cytoplasmic membrane, large rounded nucleus, small cytoplasm, and here are the antibodies, ABS antibodies. Moving for the T lymphocytes. Also, they are large in size, large rounded nucleus, small cytoplasm. These are three properties that are common between B and T. But the difference in the role of the T lymphocytes, they are killer cells. So the meaning of this, they use these receptors, they are called T cell receptors, the receptors of the T lymphocytes. They use them to kill the non-self. They attach to the non-self and they kill it using their PCR. That's why they are called killer cells. This is the labeling. This is the cytoplasmic membrane. This is the large rounded nucleus. This is the small cytoplasm. And here are the T cell receptors. Receptors, the one that receives. It receives the non-self, attached to it, and kill it. So they are called TCR. T for T cell receptor. Based on the figure you see in each of the given cells, identify each and give the property of each cell. First of all, we have cells A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Let's start with the C. The C has a nucleus like the horseshoe-shaped nucleus. So what do we call it? It's called the monocyte because it has horseshoe-shaped nucleus. B, it has multi-lobed nucleus. So it's the granulocytes. While A also has large rounded nucleus and very small cytoplasm. So A, it can be what? Maybe it's a B lymphocyte or it's a T lymphocyte. We can't know whether it's a B or a T lymphocyte unless we have antibodies, so it's B, or we have T cell receptors, so it's the T lymphocyte. So this is, we call it the lymphocyte, and this is mentioned in the video as Gabrielle said right now. So moving now to the molecules involved in immunity. As I said, antibodies. They look like the Y, so they are called Y-shaped proteins. Which cell secrete the antibodies? It's the B lymphocyte. They are specific. What the meaning of the specific? For example, this desk is specific for Ali. In fact, only Ali can sit on this desk. Antibodies are specific, meaning that every antibody can bind a specific antigen. But this antigen, it should be non-self. It's different from our body. It's a non-self. So, bone marrow and the thymus. What's the difference between bone marrow and thymus? What are the organs of production and the organs of maturation? Where are the B lymphocytes produced? Where are the T lymphocytes produced? We have primary immune organs and the secondary immune organs. We have to differentiate between them. Primary immune, primary, the first one. They are the organs of production and maturation of the immune cell. Here we are going to talk about B and T. While the secondary immune organs, they are the sites where we have an immune response, where the immune response is going to occur, where the antigens and antibodies will attack each other, and the problem we see in the secondary immune organs. Primary immune organs, we have bone marrow and the thymus. Bone marrow it starts with the letter B, and thymus, it starts with the letter T. So pay attention to this. Bone marrow is the boss. Bone marrow is responsible for the production of both B and T lymphocytes. So bone marrow, pay attention here. Bone marrow is responsible for the production of both B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. So bone marrow is the boss. So bone marrow produces both B and T. So bone marrow produces B and T. Thymus, what does it produce? Thymus, it doesn't produce anything. It has one and only one role. Bone marrow, as I said, it produces B and T. Bone marrow produces B and T. B, where does it mature? T, where does the maturation of T lymphocytes occur? Bone marrow produces B and T, and because it starts with the letter B, so it matures the B lymphocytes. It will mature the B to become an active B lymphocyte. While the thymus has only one role, to mature what? To mature the T. That's why T, maturation, and the thymus, D. Bone marrow, B, mature B, but it produces B and T. Secondary immune organs, we have the lymph node and the spleen. Lymph node is the site where the immune responses will occur against the tissue infection. Whenever we have a tissue infection and infection at the level of the tissue, lymph node is the site where the war will occur between the immune cells and the non-cell. While the spleen is the immune response against blood infection. So whenever we have infection at the level of the blood, the site of the response is going to be the spleen. So I repeat, bone marrow is responsible for production of B and T lymphocytes, and it only matures B, so it's bone B, while thymus is responsible for maturation of T lymphocyte and doesn't produce anything. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.